Show me the way. Show me the way so I may live in love. Show me the way that I may love. Show us the way that we may live in love. Show us the way, may we be free. Show us the way, may we sing in harmony. Show us the way that we all see. Show me the way I am free, for we sing. Together we sing, we sing. Together we sing, we sing. Together we sing of love, of love, of love. I am healing all life I breathe, and remember the light I feel. Always whole inside, I know we are one. Om Shanti Makura Dera Kara Sarati Akara Dari Sara Kurama Kurama Kurama. May this be an offering of transparency and union, that you know yourself as you are. No need to hide. Everything is already inside. You are that great creator source. So long as you choose to see the dark and the light as separate, you will know pain and suffering as your identity. When you unite these two aspects of yourself, the ones you like and the ones you don't like, as who you truly are, you will find freedom. You are both the liked qualities and the disliked qualities that you possess. You are both the kindnesses and the hatefulness that you possess. You are that. When you try to push something away from yourself, or when you try to call something towards yourself that you think is missing, or something pushing away that you don't like, you fragment. This life, this beautiful dance, has both light and dark. They are not separate, they dance together. So long as you are separate in your identity, maybe you're attached to being light, maybe you're attached to being a rebel dark person. As long as you're on one of these sides, you are divided. And that is what we are here to do, is to bring wholeness and integrity and reunion to the self. This great dance of remembrance, this great dance of union, isn't that we are all the same. That's hocus pocus bullcrap. We are meant to be different. And we're meant to accept each other, accept ourselves, and accept that life has many faces. When we become so fixated on one face, the light or the dark or whatever it is, we miss out on so much opportunity. And this is what I'm seeing all over the place. I have been practicing this healing work since as long as I can remember. And in that, I have seen so many well-intentioned people fall into the trap of being attached to one side. And this is including those who identify as being a rescuer. If you think that you're here helping the planet, but you're not honoring your darkness, meaning you're not honoring the places in which you aren't kind to people, in which you are selfish, in which you are greedy, if you're not honoring all these parts of yourself, you're in serious denial, and you're not going to be effective in bringing us into unity. And so many of these healers and these retreat centers and these practitioners and these shaman and these hooplas and these whatever that still operate from I am righteous and I am holy and there is something bad on the planet that needs to be eradicated and I am the solution. If you think that, you're still fragmented. You're still separate from yourself, because each person is God, goddess, sovereign, whole, and powerful. We all have this power within us. And to think that you are this holy, high, and mighty person all alone on the mountaintop by yourself is to be ignorant to the truth that each one of us holds a key. We are all the great creator. That doesn't mean that we're all the same. It's exactly the opposite from that. We are each unique fractals of this one creator. In your DNA, you have the memory of every single plant, every single atom, every single star, every single planet, every single person and quality and archetype and goddess and God and Kali and the hooplas and the Krishnas and all the things. You are those things. They're in your DNA. Those memories, those chants, they're here to awaken the memory that you have inside. It's not to chant to some holier than thou being. And we can honor that as humans, while we are in all these multidimensional, separate seeming bodies, we're going to need to learn from each other. It's not a finite story. It's not a defined story where this is our destiny. It's predetermined and we have to fall into this like predetermined soup of fate that's like suffering. Absolutely not. Every second of life is emergent. It's emerging. It's emerging. It's emerging. It's now. It's now. It's now. You get to choose in each moment who you want to be. You aren't defined by your parents' identity. You aren't defined by how much money your family has. You aren't defined by the limitations of the people in your community. You aren't defined by the limitations that you think you have. You get to create what you want. You get to study. You get to learn. You get to grow. You get to expand. That's the blessing of this life. And so long as you think that you're limited, you're going to be limited. If you think you're expanded, you're going to be expanded. Watch and experiment. Try on new thoughts. Practice those thoughts and go out into the world and watch your life change. Now, just practicing new thoughts isn't going to get you to what you want. That's why so many people get so bogged down by this manifestation hoopla stuff, because on one level we can say, oh, I'm going to think positive thoughts. I'm going to call in this goodness. I'm going to think all the things that I know to be the most amazingness of the amazingness. Maybe I want $1 million. Maybe I want to see heaven on earth. Maybe I want to see a great relationship. Maybe I want to see my family healed and happy. And I'm going to sit and I'm going to pray. 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 Pray. You know, chant. An affirmation is in some way a prayer. Yet, when we sit and are passive without taking action from that aligned place, we're not completing the prayer. For example, if you want your family to be healed and you pray for your family and you pray for these people to have a beautiful life, but then you get around them and you yell at them because you're triggered, you have work to do. Your prayer is a seed, and the actualization of that seed is you watering it and you giving it nourishment and you giving it the treatment that it needs in order to grow, which means if you have a prayer seed of being in heaven on earth, you have to be acting like that to yourself and to others. And not just to others, but to yourself. This is something I have to work on, where I have given and given and given and given to others, yet forgotten to nourish my own wellspring. This has been a pattern that I have experienced that I am actively working on. And the thing and the trick with that is when we identify as a helper or as a healer or as a whatever, but we're not loving ourselves equally in turn, we're not actually setting an example for full sovereignty, because full sovereignty is I am God, Goddess, absolute in a body, and I am worthy of all goodness, equally as every other being. Selfless service is one thing, and it must meet like selfish service in a sense. Like if we have a full cup, we can give to others. If we're giving to others from a less than full cup, those others are getting less than a full cup. That's just how it works. If we have a full cup and we give to others, guess what? We inspire others to be full unto themselves. When you see someone who's like really martyring themselves and giving from a really weak place, it's not as inspiring. You know, it's like when I think of like the archetype of Jesus, just because Jesus comes up so much, and I could go really deep into this, because the church is contrived and we ought to not value the father more than the mother. There's something that's breaking down in our culture right now, which is that men have been revered more than women, the God archetype more than the goddess archetype. And the rectification of that isn't women being so goddessy and shaming the men. Absolutely not. It's us coming into equal harmony. You are God, goddess inside. You have man and woman in you. You have masculine and feminine in you. You have a giver and you have a receiver within you. And when you come into harmony with both those aspects of yourself, then you can be in right relationship with another being, whether that being as a penis or a vagina or something entirely different. And we need to stop seeing each other as less than or better than, or bowing to someone else and not bowing to ourselves, right? Giving and receiving in equal measure. Now, this is tricky because some people get into the trap in relationships and communities where it's like, I give to you, therefore you got to give to me. And like, if I don't know that you're going to give and whatever, and what's the clear exchange, and this is how much my program costs, otherwise you can't be my friend because this is my boundary, and all these things. Like, these all need to be rectified, because the great creator always provides what is truly needed. You don't have to have money in your bank account to be provided for by the earth. You know, my relationships with children, my relationships with nature, my relationship with my sexuality, these are all really beautiful and abundant. And the reason why is because I share. I'm not sitting here tallying, oh, I gave this to that person, oh, I gave this to that person. When am I going to get mine? Absolutely not. That doesn't work in this new paradigm. I say new paradigm, it's not new. It's a remembrance of the reality that we're connected to all life. We are all living within the earth, or within the cosmos, or within the galaxy, right? The galaxies, the infinite cosmos, we are within that. And because we are within that, there is always going to be a relationship between what we give and we receive. So the earth and the moon and the sun, these are all constantly evolving. And magnets, they're constantly holding this tension. So if I give, I will receive. It doesn't have to be from you. If I give you $25 because you need it, I don't have to get that back from you. It doesn't matter. And I don't have to think about whether I'm going to get it back in return at all, because that's not how prosperity works. Prosperity works in generosity. It works from the infinite wellspring that we have inside of us. And we all get to practice this. It's scary to trust sometimes when we've been taught that everything is limited and that we have to work and deserve what we have. You have to earn your worthiness. Bullshit. You are worthy. You're in a body. You are a child of the earth. You're worthy of being fed. You're worthy of being loved with tenderness and devotion and care. And if you didn't experience that in your life, blessings to your healing, because that's what we're doing right now, is we're bringing us all back into remembrance of this worthiness. If I think I'm not worthy, then I'm going to treat you with that non-worthiness. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy. So if your parents treated you in any way that you didn't feel loved or seen or valued or heard, or the school system or whatever, know that that's false. All the beliefs that make you feel small and insignificant aren't true. Truth makes you feel free. You know, some people say, this is the truth. If this is the truth, and I say this is the truth to you, and you feel like shit afterwards, it's not the truth. Even if you've done really bad things, and I tell you, you've done really bad things, and that's hurt me, if you go sit and you beat yourself up for it again and again and again, you're not in the truth. Because the truth is that great creator inside yourself, whatever you want to call it, I don't subscribe to religion, but the universe itself, the wholeness of all things, forgiveness is reality. You are infinitely forgiven. Karma's not, I did something bad and now I'm going to get bad. It's like, if I am in right relationship with myself, I feel good. If I am acting out of integrity with my own values, I feel bad. That's karma. It's you and you and you. your relationship with you. You come back into this body, you come back into this life to get right with you. If you have standards that you think you violated, evaluate whether they're your standards or not. If they're not your standards, you can shed those standards. If they are your standards, lean into being in alignment with your standards. Because this time is infinite. We're constantly evolving, dying, and being reborn. It's like you get a good healthy compost pile. It's like the scraps from the food gives new fertilizer for the new trees and the new fruit, and it goes around and around and around. So we're given infinite moments to renew ourselves. We're given infinite moments to say no to something that's not working and yes to something that is. When we say no to something, it's not a rejection. Even though it might appear to be a rejection, it's an acceptance of something else. We also need to let go of this fear of rejection, this fear of abandonment. These fears that are so ingrained in our DNA, in our skin, in our body, from all the trauma, from past lives, from our ancestors, from war. And all these things were created from this idea that there's a limited amount of resources and a fear of death. Facing our death doesn't mean the end of everything. It means the beginning. Death is new life. Just like I said, you put the scraps in the compost, you get the good compost, it gives food for the new fruit. We aren't limited by time and space. We must remember this. We must remember our infinite nature, lest we're going to thrive. If we want to thrive as a species, if we want to thrive here on planet Earth, we need to remember that we're infinite. So we stop grasping on to every last thing, clinging and clinging and clinging and trying to get as much as we can out of stuff because we feel that there's a scarcity and we need to cling. Shut it. Drop it. Hug a fucking tree. Breathe with the tree. Shout to the moon and call your prayers out, because sound affects things. Vibration affects things. You know, and you can look it up, when you chant or when you sing to water and you freeze it, it changes shape. The crystals are affected. Our word, our sound, our prayers are heard. We have to create space for that, which means we have to let go of the stories. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you think you are? Who are your parents? Who is your partner? What do you want? Let it all go. Maybe what's beckoning you is something even more than you could imagine. Pray for that. I pray for that. I pray for a life that's beyond my wildest dreams, beyond what I could imagine, because I'm aware that this mind has been inherited in some way from culture. It's been programmed from limitation and lack. I sat in school systems that told me this is the way it is when I knew that it wasn't. You as a child knew what was true. Innately, you knew bullshit. Kids know bullshit. Your parents bullshitted. That's great. They thought they knew something. They thought that they had to be perfect in order to be worthy to be parents. Wrong. If you're a parent watching this and you don't know this, you don't have to be perfect to be worthy of being a parent. You have to be human, raw, real, feeling, emergent. Something happens, I feel feelings, I shed, I cry. I don't make it mean something. I don't make it mean that I'm a victim. I don't make it mean that I'm weak. I don't make it mean like hoopla. It's all bullshit. It's energy in motion. Emotion is energy in motion. Emotion, energy in motion. It wants to move beyond. It wants to process itself. It doesn't want to stay fixed and create a structure. Oh, goddess, that's what we're trying to break free from. And so if you're here right now listening to me, or ever going to listen to this video, or whoever in the cosmos is hearing this on some level, it's for us to unplug from the idea that we are a fixed thing. This is who I am. This is what I like. This is what I do. What if everything changed tomorrow? What if you woke up in the morning and you liked different food and you thought different things and you felt different things and you wanted different things and you tried new things and you experimented? What would your life look like? Try it out. Be emergent. Life, we are processes, not stagnant things. And I have to remember this. I say this as a reminder to you. I say this as a reminder to myself. When I share this from my mouth towards you, I hear it reverberated back to me again and again and again. And that's the beautiful thing, is we get to remind each other of this. I feel this love in me, not just because I remember, but because I have been reminded to remember by those that love me. And let me just say, love is the powerfulest healer. Beyond taking psychedelic medicine, beyond getting psychoactive psychological stuff, love is the most powerful medicine. When you are in your darkest of your darkest moments, love is the saving grace. And so that's what I will leave us all with today, is love. Love, 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 love. I love you. I accept you. I see you in all of your flaws. What you think are flaws, they're not flaws. They're energies. They want to be experienced. They want to be felt. They want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to be let out into the sunshine. The darkness in you isn't dark. Your darkness is shining. And so many people stuff all of their unlovable, unlikable, what they think is unlovable and unlikable feelings into deep, dark holes. And they lock them up. And they say, you're going to stay here because you're not worthy of seeing the light because society doesn't accept you. Well, I'm going to say, come play. Come play with me because I accept you and I see you and I love you. And I have been called crazy more times than I'd like to admit, but now I kind of revel in it. I have had so many people attempt to put me on medication and put me in an institution because of the fact that I live outside of the box. You tell me to get a job, I'm going to go do something else. Why? Because we're not limited. We think we need these structures because at some point when we were really vulnerable and really susceptible and really young, and our mind was being shaped by our mind was growing, our brain was getting shaped, and all this bullshit went into it. And it went in, and it went in, and it created the structure of the mind. Well, you can reprogram your mind. Your mind, literally, our body heals every 7 years. Our brains regenerate every 5 years. I know sometimes we want an instant like an instant thing where it's like, I've done the mantras, I've done the affirmations for like 2 years, and like, no, things changed. Like, be patient. Think of how many years you were trained to be thinking limited thoughts, limited ideas about yourself. When you go into thinking new thoughts, you really are reprogramming your entire system. Drink a lot of water. Stay hydrated. Remember that you have a body. It's not just all in the mind. Give yourself like somatic healing. So some of this stuff, it's not just like think positive thoughts and like Om Mani Padme Om, when like the body has traumas in it. For me personally, my mom was freaked out the whole time she was pregnant, stressed out most of her life, and stressed out all of my childhood. So like, even if I'm thinking positive thoughts, I have a lot of stuff in the body that I've had to work through. And the mind can hijack the body, and the body can hijack the mind at any time. And we need to have compassion for this within ourselves. The more we have compassion for this within ourselves, the more we have compassion for this within other people. And like, we're all in this together. Heaven on earth is something that's personal, right? It's a personal sanctuary inside. And my intention is to see that realized. And so for every being to remember who they are as abundant prosperity, as more than enough, always, like, we gotta give each other the keys and the codes. And so I'm gonna help remind you at some point, and you're gonna help remind me. And that's the nature of the dance until we're all remembering who we are. And remembering who you are and living heaven on earth doesn't look like some idea of a clean asshole. I love my butthole, and it doesn't look like some fake image of perfection. That's a trap. It looks like scrapes and bruises and fumbling and learning. When children are learning, they might burn themselves, they might fall, they might scrape their knee. If a child scrapes its knee, you don't say, oh, look at you, imperfect child, now you have a scar on your knee. That shows how imperfect you are. Absolutely not. That's a child learning and growing. That's organic matter. You eat an apple, sometimes you don't always eat the apple. You throw the rind away. No one's looking at that saying, look at this imperfectly chewed apple. Fuck that. We're organic matter. We're not meant to be perfect. It is already perfect. And the more we can remember that everything is perfect in acceptance of the truth, then we're empowered to make changes and shifts if we so choose. See, the thing is you get to choose. If you want to wake up in the morning and drink coffee and you know coffee's not good for you, that's your choice. If you want to wake up in the morning and drink a glass of lemon water because you know that's better for you, that's your choice. If you want to reach out to a friend of yours that you know you haven't talked to in a long time and let them know that you love them just because with no attachment, that's your choice. If you want to sit all day thinking about how you hate this person and everything should be different and oh, fuck the government and you know this person, that person, and look at all these people doing bad things and like I'm so cool, you can do that. It's your choice. You get to feel the consequences of that. If you feel shitty, consider you're shitting on yourself. It's about you in right relationship with you, not about other people. We're empowered to make our sovereign choices. Each person at the end of the day, when they lie on their deathbed, so to speak, is going to have a conversation with themselves. Did I live well? Did I say I was sorry when I meant it? Did I take ownership of the things that were my responsibility when I had the opportunity? Was I lazy? Did I fully follow my dreams and my heart? Or did I settle for an idea of what I think I should be doing? It's you with you. And at the end of the day, that's all there is you. And this is a beautiful gift, a beautiful, beautiful blessing. I love you. Blessings on your day. This is a beautiful portal that we're in right now where we get to choose new things, new ways of being. And when we choose those new ways of being, we're given the opportunity to experience new ways of living. And so I honor your path. I honor your sovereign ability to choose. You're empowered to choose. That's the blessing. And so I love you, I love you, I love you. May you remember that you're here choosing in every moment whether to open or to close. And you're given infinite opportunities to change direction at any moment, any given time. And all it takes is sometimes the slightest adjustment in attitude and perspective to make the biggest changes. So in honor of love being the most precious medicine on this planet, I send to you my blessing, and may you find your way with grace and ease in all moments. Om Mani Padme Om. Sacred intimate life to you. Blessings, blessings, blessings. From Costa Rica, from all over the world, I love you. May this resin clear and purify you wherever you are. May your heart be free. May you know that you have more than enough. Always. 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 I cannot be separated from the love that I am. I have been established, anointed, and sealed by this love. I cannot be separated from this love. I am confident that the good work within me will be perfected. I am a citizen of heaven and earth. I have been given the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. I can find grace and mercy in any time of need. I am born of the one love, and anything that wishes to harm me cannot touch me. I am united with the spirit of the love that I am. I am a member of this one love and this body. And I choose in every moment the love that I express here on planet Earth in this now. Namaste. I love you. Sacred blessings to your day.